Hello and welcome to another Joomla for Beginners video tutorial. We're working on version 1.5. We're logged in to the backend administration of our test site, and we're logged on as a super administrator. This lesson is going to cover the global configuration server settings portion, so this is lesson 3 of 3. We're going to start by clicking on the global configuration icon on our home page, and we're going to go to the third tab marked Server Settings. We're going to scroll down and we're going to begin right here at the top on the Server Settings. And on our Server Settings at the top we have 3 areas: the path to the temp folder, the gzip settings, and the error reporting. The path to the temp folder is the web server directory that the Joomla program is going to use to store its temporary files. The gzip page compression, as you can see, is set to no by default. But if it's supported by your web server, if you can enable this, it'll send compressed data to your visitor's web browser and basically make your website load a lot faster for them. And in this version of Joomla, we have the option of choosing exactly the amount of error reporting that the Joomla system will keep track of. And we'll leave that set to its system default for right now. Moving down, the next setting is for our local settings, and the only choice we have here is to set our local time zone. The time zone that you choose should basically identify the time zone that the website is meant to operate in. And we're going to choose Central Standard Time and move down to the FTP settings. And regarding the FTP settings, we've already entered our information and successfully tested our Joomla's FTP connection during the Joomla installation process, but you're always able to modify these settings here. Again, we have the host, the port, the username, password, and the root. The root is normally just /. The port is almost always port 21. In our case, we're doing something here at our local host. The 127.0.0.1 is equal to localhost. And we're going to scroll over and we're going to discuss our database settings. Same thing with the database settings. All of these were set up and entered during our original Joomla installation, and unless you're doing something very customized, you'll never want to change these settings. This is very, very important. And on our last section is the mail settings. This is not for email addresses that you have set up on your control panel for the domain. These are for the automated emails that Joomla sends out. The default setting is the PHP mail function, and it should only be changed if your system mail function requires it to be changed. The mail from is the email address of the administrator that was entered during the installation. The from name is pulled from the name of the website that you entered during installation. The send mail path is almost universal on all web servers, so only change this if your host requires you to. The SMTP authentication is only required if you've chosen the SMTP mailer function up here rather than the default PHP mail function. And that sums up the lesson on the server settings from the global configuration on Joomla 1.5.